It's going to be a Ruben Amorim salvation, or better still, it is a redemption for the Portuguese man, and he has won a game for a second consecutive time, for the first time in his Manchester United career.
Not looking too good for Arne Slot, but I thought they were unlucky today. I think in the last 4 games that they've lost, this is the one game that I thought they were very, very impressive. They were unlucky not to have won, to be honest.
There are problems with the Liverpool team, and it was clear for me when they were winning games. I was questioning their play and their fullbacks. And you have Kekes, Bradley, Frimpong. They are not playing so well.
Liverpool are already in a season where they are going to be missing Salah for a month because of the AFCON. And that would be a point where their hands are already tied.
Nobody behind Salah is playing like Trent would play. So Trent's combination with Salah and Trent's long balls over the top for Salah is gone.
I'm not going to get the same Arsenal in December, because in December, that's where they become funny.
You know, when Mikel Arteta came to Arsenal earlier, people said his football wasn't entertaining, it wasn't exciting. Then he tried to bring entertaining football. It got them good results, made them progress to a certain level, but it wasn't ruthless enough to win them the things they thought they should win.
Ange Postecoglou was sacked. Sicho, this was meant to happen right from day one, but never this early. Not after 9 games.
I'm scared for Man City because the teams in Spain might come calling. And when they come calling, this guy will want to move because...
I don't think he's going to move.
You feel like? I
don't feel like. I believe he's not going to move.
You
I
know,
know
you never trust a footballer, you know.
You know when he move? The day Pep Guardiola says, I'm done here at City.
And that's coming next year.
There are so many players who are going to be thinking twice.
Welcome to Footy Centre Podcast Series. Welcome to Footy Centre Podcast Series.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's match day.
It's going to be a Ruben Amorim salvation, or better still, it is a redemption for the Portuguese man, and he has won a game for a second consecutive time, for the first time in his Manchester United career. But even more importantly, this was sealed at Anfield, and it will definitely go down in history, being the first man to do that for the first time in a decade. Manchester United beating Liverpool is going to be the highlights of this particular discussion. But we also have several other conversations, including Erling Haaland's hot streak and how Chelsea have steamrolled over Nottingham Forest that eventually cost Ange Postecoglou his job at Forest. Maranakis is not a man to trifle with. Also, we'll be looking at how Barcelona just edged it, in this particular weekend La Liga clash. Of course, at the time of recording on Sunday, Real Madrid are yet to kick off. I'm not sure if they do play before we end this conversation, but if they do, we'll bring you all the updates. This is the FC Pitchside Podcast with me, Theo, and I've been doing this with Philip Sicho Atrim and Adjo. Guys, you're welcome.
Thank
you very much.
Thank you. You heard the voices of the men you're going to be hearing for the next few minutes, close to an hour. And it is going to be a conversation around the world of football. Talk about football. Just a few days ago, Ghana sealed our qualification to the 2026 World Cup in the United States of America. And it was after, some marginal victory over Comoros in Accra. Mohamed Kudus with a goal. It's been a few days, but it's still the World Cup, and so we'll spare a few minutes, to speak through that. Ajo and Sicho were at the stadium, and we'll be talking about that. But that will be after we deal with the English Premier League, which will also come after I tell you, or better still, remind you to subscribe and please leave your comments on whatever feed you're watching this on, be it YouTube or Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Leave your comments, and we are going to be dealing with them. Also, remember, there's only one thing we ask of you: a 5-star rating or subscribe to the channel. Now, let's start with Manchester United and Liverpool. And Sicho, I will start with you. What is happening with Liverpool?
Well,
what is happening?
To be honest,
this is the 4th consecutive defeat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Not looking too good for Arne Slot, but I thought they were unlucky today. I think in the last 4 games that they've lost, this is the one game that I thought they were very, very impressive. They were unlucky not to have won, to be honest. But it's credit to Man United because of the way United defended. But Liverpool were unlucky. They hit the woodwork 3 times. They missed quite a lot of chances that on any day they could tap home. Couple of players still not up to speed, but the quality is still there to be seen. So yeah, and it's not under pressure. Liverpool under pressure because it's 4 defeats in a row, and this one is coming against their main rivals, Man United, at Anfield, and Man United who have not been playing well this season. So this one will hurt even more and will bring a lot of pressure to the team. But if you really, really want to analyze the game today, I didn't think Liverpool were a bad team. I didn't think Liverpool played badly. But of course, all of that doesn't matter if you don't win the games. So then they need to find a way of stopping the leaks at the back because, look, it's the goals they're conceding. The game starts very early on. They concede a goal from Mbeumo. They score a goal. All of a sudden, it looks like they're going to go on and push Man United. Then they concede a goal from Maguire. It is these goals that they are considering is letting them down. But yeah, I still think Liverpool have got the quality and players to settle to give them the momentum and the push that they think they need.
Right. Ajo,
Yeah.
it's looking very bleak for Liverpool's title chance. Wouldn't you say so?
Early days, so I won't talk about title challenge or anything of that sort here. But there are problems with the Liverpool team, and it was clear for me when they were winning games. I was questioning their play and their fullbacks. And you have Kekes, Bradley, Frimpong. They are not playing so well, even when Liverpool are winning games. And there's a problem. Even when you take off the fullbacks, even the 4 and 5, now there's no communication between Konate and Van Dijk. It happened again today too. Some points in the game, you see Konate doing the work of Van Dijk. Van Dijk will be nowhere near the left CB role, and Konate will come and cover and clear those spaces, defend there, and go back to his position. So the back line is funny, and they are missing the service of Alisson too. Bradley, in the point in the game, you wanted Bradley to do the overlapping run and complement Salah. Salah will occupy the left half spaces, but even with that, Bradley going forward lacks something there. Kekes is like he has to overlap and track back and defend. He can't do that so far. There's pressure on Kekes, so his fullback are not helping him at all. He's lacking a lot in that area. Then when you come to midfield too.
But does it help also that Van Dijk is always seen screaming at Kekes? That doesn't it further wane his confidence? Whatever is left remaining.
You see, they're in a tricky situation now. Van Dijk and Salah are not playing well, but can you bench them? No, because I mean they've been little.
You can't. Why can't you?
No, if you bench Van Dijk right now, there's nobody to replace him. So that's
no. But I think Salah is benchable.
Yeah, but they won't do that. I think
but they should. But they should.
But they should. But they won't.
But if you bench Salah, who replaces Salah?
Well, you have to re-strategize because Liverpool are already in a season where they are going to be missing Salah for a month because of the AFCON.
Yeah.
And that would be a point where their hands are already tied. Also, the signs this season is already proving and showing that Salah is waning in his ability to produce magic every single time. In the last few years, we've realized that age caught up with him. He wasn't as involved with Liverpool's build-up, like in previous years. But because he had the Midas touch and he had the experience and he had that about him, he was able to continuously get them the results, which is good. But at some point, you need to begin planning for the future. That future should start now because you cannot wait. You cannot wait to have a wasteful season before you think that I need to start planning. Beyond Mohamed Salah.
Yeah. No, look, stop calling Semenyo ASAP. It's
no. The issue with Salah. The issue with Salah is a lot of very petty, minute things that are significant. First of all, nobody behind Salah is playing like Trent would play. So Trent's combination with Salah and Trent's long balls over the top for Salah is gone.
Right.
Trent coming to the bar line and Salah moving inward is gone. Bradley's not doing it enough. Frimpong's not doing enough. So Salah has to stay wide a lot of the time. So he's not getting close to goal as he would like. That is one. Two, Salah, since he came to Liverpool, has never really had to play with a typical centre forward who will occupy the central spaces. So when he had Firmino would drop a little deeper for Salah to run off him. And Mane, when they had Darwin Núñez was never really good in scoring the goals. He sacrificed a bit of his striker's role so Mohamed Salah and Luis Diaz will get in behind him. So Darwin Núñez will do different things. This time, Liverpool have got Isak and Ekitike, who are typical centre forwards, occupying zones where Mohamed Salah has to provide for them. Mohamed Salah has to cross the ball. Mohamed Salah has to cut the ball back. Mohamed Salah has to do what Kudus is doing for West Ham, for Spurs, and what all other wingers are doing for their clubs like Jeremy Doku. So Mohamed Salah's role for Liverpool this season subtly is becoming more of a forward player rather than a player who would end up in the box. So how many times does Salah get into the box this season? Not often. Again, Mohamed Salah in Liverpool has not really had to play with a typical number 10. Florian Wirtz comes into this team, and some of the spaces where Salah would come inward and occupy is being occupied and blocked by typical number 10s. So I'm saying that there are variations to Liverpool's games that is costing Mohamed Salah to change his game and having to adapt to a different style, which hasn't clicked yet. But I don't think it's all on Salah. I think it's more of the Liverpool system that is not getting the best out of certain things or certain players in the game. It will take time because I think Salah is quality. His quality will come to the fore. But if they're going to play with a typical striker, a typical number 10, don't expect Mohamed Salah to be in and around the box as often as he used to be.
I mean, those are all very valid points, and all I'll say is age is also catching up with him. Yeah. But I also believe that once you begin working around all those things around him, you need to at some point experiment building a very solid team without Salah, and it's because at some point, again this season, you are going to miss Salah. What is the dress rehearsal that you have when he is absent? You already signed Ekitike and Isak. You have Gakpo. Is there a way they can play together with Vets? That is the job of a manager, and that's why he's paid the top dollar to do that. And again, beyond the AFCON, you will lose Salah at some point eventually in the coming months. And so
this is why
what is the plan going forward without Salah? And I feel that we need to see the signs this season.
This is why Liverpool shouldn't have let a player like Elliott, Harvey Elliott leave the club. This is why Liverpool should have done something to keep a player like Luis Diaz.
But it was tricky with Harvey Elliott because Harvey Elliott plays the position of Vets. And when Vets is signed for the amount of money he's signed for, and Harvey Elliott obviously clearly thinks that he's ready for Premier League games. And so it's difficult to keep two players who all feel they need to be starting games. You get what I'm saying?
So Harvey Elliott can do 3 different jobs. He can play the role of Soboslai in the midfield 3, not as a number 10. He can play also as a number 10 like that. And he can also replace Mohamed Salah. So I would have kept Vets in the team because he offers me different things. And if Salah was going to drop to the bench, I throw in Florian Vets. At the moment, if you throw in Frimpong, he's only going to go straight down to the line and cross the ball. He's not going to cut it and
it almost produced a goal. Gakpo should have taken that. And if Gakpo took that option, if Gakpo scored that, we'll be having a different conversation by now.
But he can do that as a wing back or as a full back.
Right.
And that's what Trent was doing. You don't need to be the forward player to do that. He can do that as a wing back and full back as well. So I think Liverpool's transfer, like I said earlier, is what is letting them down a little bit. But of course, they've got the quality. I think they should come.
But Ajo, isn't it strange that there's a team wins the Premier League and did it in the way Liverpool did it, dominated everybody, and then buys about 3 or 4 players that everybody thinks is definitely going to enhance their team, top transfers, top amounts, and they look worse.
Yeah, and if you pick Isak for example, I don't feel bad for him. I think we had the argument here when we were deciding, has he done himself more harm than good or with his transfer? He looks out of pace. He looks like not even 50% fit. And you see, to start him ahead of Gakpo, Hugo in this game was questionable. I mean, the confidence of Hugo will just drop because he's playing well. When Isak was not around, he was playing well. Now, when Hugo came into the game, I was wanting to see where he'll be playing. He played him in the left half spaces. So today, in this game, tactically, Slot reacted very well. I mean, Amorim got the win because defensively, the structure was good. And Maguire said that Liverpool were caught ball watching with the set pieces. So in the second, when they got the equalizer, they were stretching the Man U back line with what's his name? Hugo Ekitike. And also with Frimpong. So they pinned the fullbacks of United. And that created spaces centrally for what everything they wanted to do in the middle of the park. And it helped. But can he bench Salah? No, he won't bench Salah. So probably he wants to give a different role to Hugo Ekitike on the left half spaces. But that one is not enough. I've seen Hugo Ekitike play well in the box. be clinical in the box when there was no Isak. So if you are going to
Right.
play him as a left winger or be occupy the left half spaces like a number 8, hybrid 8, maybe it will work. Maybe you limit him scoring goals. So then again, we beg the question: bringing in 2 number 9s who can give you numbers at the same time, will it be a problem for them? Maybe it will be because when Isak picks form, you have Hugo on the bench. Fair enough, he's on the bench doing so well, coming in. A good team is one with a good bench, but the ball Hugo is playing, he has to be starting games.
Exactly.
We're
Exactly.
going to bench him, and maybe if you play him as a left winger, can he track back and get connection with Kekes? Probably no, because I don't see Ugapu tracking back to help Kekes. Kekes is going and coming, and he's tired.
Right.
The system is not even helping. So Liverpool, every department they have a problem there. In defense, there's a problem. Midfield, there's a problem because I don't see McAllister play so well. McAllister, unless it is Enzo, that's why we talk about it. McAllister is having a very awful season so far. He picks his game when he won, but we don't talk about Liverpool. Nobody cares about Liverpool. And
Yeah, but I mean, but you must also understand that they'll talk about Enzo Fernandez because of the amount he was signed for. McAllister was signed for 30 million.
okay, now last
Enzo was signed for like 3 times more.
if fair enough, well, that's a good debate though. But McAllister, if you want to show that you're a good midfielder, then you have to start helping Gravenberch because he can't do it alone. So they have problems in every department, and that is why I was like, I'm not seeing Liverpool within the league, or I'm not feeling the Liverpool team. You see, he touched what was supposed to be touched. He touched them playing in a counter-attacking way. He brought in attacking-minded fullbacks, and they are struggling. So his fullbacks are killing him literally, and it's going to be a problem to the pick form. Yeah.
It's always going to be a big struggle if any Premier League team has 2 attacking fullbacks. It's never going to work, especially in the modern game.
Exactly.
Liverpool, in the
It
Premier
worked-
League.
it worked when they had Robertson and Trent.
Yeah, but you see, what happens with Robertson is that he had a great understanding with Van Dijk and knows when to go, when to stay. And there was good telepathy and
Yes.
understanding between them. Kekes doesn't have that understanding with Van Dijk. And so there's always that discrepancy. And then with Trent, he always had a liberty to either, move up the flanks or join them in midfield because of his, passing technique. But unfortunately, they cannot
So
rely
the
on...
framework
And that's why
around
they have
them,
Szoboszlai
yeah.
for that, because Szoboszlai is almost playing
Yeah.
like Trent in a way. Almost, without the crosses, but almost playing like Trent.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that will be it with Liverpool as it is. I will be running by you where they are in the table very shortly, but let's look at the closest contender for them as was tipped this particular season, and that's Arsenal. And they won away at Fulham by a 1-0, Leandro Trossard. This was, by no means the most convincing win, but they wouldn't care. At the end of the season, when they win the title, did I say when? If they win the title, Arsenal are going to be looking back at games like this and saying these were the most important points. Ajo, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I like what they are doing so far this season. And you see, they don't change their defensive, their back line. That's the plus
Right.
for them. They don't change
Right.
the back line. The back line
Is it a swipe at Enzo Maresca?
Oh, Enzo Maresca has reasons to change his back line. So
Oh, but even when all players are fit, he keeps changing. Anyway,
the red card FC, we'll get to them. But you see, I mean, when they face even London teams and it's becoming difficult, the set piece magic comes in for them again. And I was like, are we going to get the same Arsenal in December? Because in December, that's where they become funny. In December, we don't know what happens to Arsenal. They just start dropping points and getting draws. But so for me, again, Saka, very important to them. Trossard, very important to them. But in midfield, now he's doing something different. He's playing a single pivot and playing double eights.
right.
With against low block teams and against teams that keep possession and open play. So that is very bold because I was watching the game and Eze is not playing like a traditional typical number 10. He has one eye as a number 8, one eye as number 10, looking at right. So like hybrid 8 and 10, which helps because it gives that midfield dominance. And Calafiori also invests sometimes and also overlaps. But when he used to play Martinelli would draw back and come and help. I think I said it here 2 weeks ago that if you want to play Eze as number 10, then play Martinelli as a left winger so that he can track back and help Calafiori because he's Arsenal's weakest link. But now he has given that same job to Trossard, and Trossard often drops back to help Calafiori, so they don't concede goals. If you have to score Arsenal, you have to work hard to unless they'll make a mistake. Because even their keeper is a problem. And Timber is my player of the season so far. Maybe you will support, but for me, my player, and if he gets injured, Arsenal should forget about winning the league. So they should try and manage his games. find a way to manage his games in the Champions League, and maybe winnable games and the EPL games. Because if Timber goes off this Arsenal team, everything they are doing will work. Because even offensively, he's underrated this season. Offensively, he's even adding some numbers and some like efforts to the attack, and that's very, very fantastic for me. From all departments, Arsenal are playing so well. I don't see them even losing games, and it's crazy. I don't know what will happen for Mikel to lose a game, but I mean, let's see if it will happen.
No, I mean, it does happen. It does happen. Everyone loses at some point. It tends up some way somehow.
So, yeah.
For me, in my fantasy Premier League, I don't have any Arsenal attacker because Gyökeres is firing on, is firing blanks left, right, center. You never know who plays on the left. On the right, is Saka. It used to be Madueke. Maybe Saka would have been in my team, but I rather prefer double defensive partnerships. So I went with Breya and with Gabriel. And so far, I am actually, out of 12 million players around the world, I am less than 100,000. I am 76,000. That's my rank.
That's superb.
76,000, bro. 76,000. Now, if I win, Charlie, we'll go to Emirates. We'll go and watch. Arsenal. But anyway, Sicho. So I would tie my question with Manchester City. My question about Arsenal with Manchester City. I'm looking at how Arsenal are continuing in a very steady way, and how Manchester City are progressing in a very steady way. If you get my question. How do you think these two clubs are going to be, or better still, do you think these two clubs are going to shape the title challenge and not Liverpool Arsenal? Do you think it's going to be Man City Arsenal?
I still think it could very much be a 3-horse race, perhaps 4, if Chelsea get all their players fit and return, and Enzo Maresca keeps doing what he's doing. Chelsea are not far off this, and of course there's Liverpool. I'm not going to rule them out because they've got quality. They are champions for a reason. So it could very much be a 3-horse race. In the end, it could very much be 3 getting to the end. But it looks like now Arsenal City could be the very team that many are keeping an eye on because of Liverpool's slump. But yeah, I like Arsenal because they're not about the flamboyancy and the pleasure on the eye. They are about efficiency and result oriented. And that's one thing that Mikel Arteta has gradually got Arsenal fans to buy into. When Mikel Arteta came to Arsenal earlier, people said his football wasn't entertaining, it wasn't exciting. Then he tried to bring entertaining football. It got them good results, made them progress to a certain level, but it wasn't ruthless enough to win them the things they thought they should win. And I think Mikel Arteta is now going to go back to the team that he thinks he has to be solid. Just get the win anyhow you want to get it. So when you look at the players he signed over the years, these are physical players. They've got very firm physique about them. Tall, big defenders, big midfielders, big strikers, big attackers. That's the kind of team he's trying to build. And it's been effective for them in the set piece that he's playing as well. For Man City as well, I think that people have not yet warmed up to City's changing style. Everybody still is very used to watching City dominate the game and keep possession and pass you till you are bored. But City are trying to mix it a little bit and even more be a lot more direct. Because Pep Guardiola realizes that if you've got a player like Erling Haaland up the field, and you've got the pace of Jeremy Doku, then maybe it doesn't make the sense to always try and pass out from the back when your best centre back is not the best passer of the ball. And now one of your best players, who is the goalkeeper, is also not the best passer of the ball. So Ruben Dias is not one of the best passers of the ball, one of the comfortable players receiving the ball from the back. So what he's trying to do now is to try and hit long into Erling Haaland or hit long into space for a player like Jeremy Doku to run into. And we've seen that it has caused him problem because for now, teams are still eagerly trying to press City high. So when they are trying to press City high, City go over the top. It's something Edison was doing, but Edison still used to pass the ball a little bit, but they are now going a lot more direct. And now City, wait for this. City are not shy to win games ugly. City are not shy to sit in deep. City are not shy to hold. City 2 years ago would be like, even though they're under pressure, they still want to be cute. These days, City understand that when they're under pressure, they need to sit in compact and defend. So yeah, we're looking at a City team that is still not a fully fledged team. It still looks like a work in progress, but yet getting the result that are needed under the process.
Under the process, indeed. But one process that definitely didn't work is Ange Postecoglou's, because at Nottingham Forest, it took just 19 minutes after he lost to Chelsea by 3-0 for him to get sacked. Before the end of the game, the owner of the club, Marnakesh, got off his seat And at that point, I think the signs were boldly on the wall that Ange was walking a very tight rope. But in the end, of course, as I said, he lost his job. Chelsea winning by 3-0. And Enzo Maresca was not in the dugout because of his red card after celebrating wildly out of his technical area against Liverpool last Premier League game. And from watching the game up from where he was, he probably saw things he wouldn't have seen when he was in the dugout, because notes were passed around. Eventually got to Rhys James. He put it in his socks, but just moments later, he scored and got Chelsea's third goal. Some people have joked that Esteval had to bring the notes because he couldn't speak English, and so that is why notes had to be written. But in the end, I mean, what's most important here is that Chelsea won. Ajo, what's your take on Chelsea's 3-0 win? I mean, without touching on Ange, I want Sicho to touch on Ange. So if you can touch on Chelsea, please.
Yeah, just two things. I think a champion should be given time to play. The more he plays, the more he will improve. The more he plays, the more he will get himself acclimatized.
Exactly. Van Dijk had to be given a chance, right? So let's give the chance to a champion. He's good. I really like that. I like the look of him. He's really good.
He's intelligent, because one thing he does well is having the ball and pushing or being a good ball carrier.
He's going to the World Cup with Ghana. Have you
guys heard the English commentators?
I'm taking time.
Do you see? Have you heard how they call him in England? Ekiampong.
Yeah.
It shows he doesn't belong.
Omanye, that's his nickname now. Omanye.
No, he doesn't belong there. I remember in Ghana's first World Cup, Stephen Appiah was Stephen Appiah. Jan was Gyan. I mean, they had like very funny ways of calling it.
Pencil.
But anyway, stress not every vowel in there. But anyway, I'm listening as well.
So when he scored, I was like, okay, now I understand why Madrid and Bayern were lacking when he had contract issues with Chelsea.
Yeah, last year.
He's a fantastic player. I think Gusto should be sold in January. He's not intelligent.
What?
It's about time we start selling
before the international break, Chelsea fans were praising Gusto for his work on McAllister.
Even Ajo said that Chelsea's team this season is built around Gusto.
Yes, I did.
What is happening?
I did. So now let me explain. You see, the reason why I praised him and said Maresca should make him a crown jewel, because he was hugging the line in that Maresca other system where he plays a triple 10. But he's not doing that anymore. He has stopped because there's no Kopama around.
Because it was failing. Because Gusto was failing. Gusto was largely failing in that system. Gusto would always, and you see, there were times when as a third number 10, he would be the last. He would be the last person to receive the ball in the counter attack and destroy the whole move.
Okay, so I think let me explain something. Maybe you get this word. The system I'm talking about is the PSG system. That system, he was like all right winger, hugging the line, making things, doing all the basics so well.
Yeah, but that system, you can only play it against big teams, and you can have those chances like just 3 times in the season.
And Maresca is not trying. Now, when Maresca plays him as a number 10, a triple 10, he becomes a funny player. I mean, there are better right backs that out.
He's terrible. He's terrible.
He's not serious. Like a this guy on the ball, he doesn't care. Like he's a dancehall rapper. Dancehall move up, no Bomayo, or also dancehall. I don't know what is wrong with him. I mean, 3 goals to red card. So for him, I mean, I'm not going to defend him again. He should be sold. But you see, what McGee came to do for Chelsea in the game helped Joao Pedro more than anybody. We saw Joao Pedro playing as number 10, auxiliary hybrid, and enjoying the role. I mean, difficult to take the ball off Joao Pedro. So it's simple. If we can get the ball ready for some games, let's do that. Because if you're not playing Esther as number 10 and play Pedro as number 9, McGee should start games. Hopefully, he becomes clinical and gets some goals as number 9.
The thing is, he doesn't even get chances. When he's on the pitch, it's like they don't trust him. They don't feed him with the ball.
Only presses well for us and be like a distractor.
You're right.
Like how he was for the Liverpool goal for Esteval. So for me, Joao Pedro was...
He can build a good career around that, though. I mean, how many goals did Giroud score for France?
I like that. So you see, for Joao Pedro, we should play him as number 10, and it will help us. Moises Caicedo is becoming a dangerous midfielder. His aura brought Chelsea the goals, and it's dangerous because he has to do less. He just came into the game, and Chelsea was winning now. So for me, brilliant game, brilliant win for. Now we've got to stick around and won back-to-back games, so it's easy. Chelsea fans will see the importance of Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo when they play together because Andre Santos looks not ready. And I have a tweet that I said we'll support him, but when you play for Chelsea. When you play for Chelsea and you go on loan, I don't want to give you praises when you do for Strasbourg, captain Strasbourg and win games with them. That's Strasbourg. The Chelsea blue shirt is dangerous to wear, and he seems not too comfortable playing now. So I mean, we'll give him time. But this is why I feel like now I now understand why Chelsea are targeting or looking at Adam Watson of Crystal Palace, because the ball Andre is playing. I mean, he's way back. But
A lot of people were questioning why Chelsea were looking for a number 10 anyway, but I think it's very clear. In the absence of Cole Palmer, there's nobody to deputize, and I actually believe that if Chelsea got a high level number 10, Cole Palmer wouldn't have even played
I
number
think
10.
we'll attack
He wouldn't.
the Barca guy again. I think Chelsea will try that. And
I don't think they're going to get him. I think it's a fruitless venture. They should focus on other targets.
you feel like
It's difficult to get Barcelona players. That's
Okay,
that's
the
a
good
fair
news- the
thing.
good news
Unless
is
Barcelona
that
do not want the player.
Chelsea has gone
And the
to
second
Liverpool.
thing, right?
Yeah, we'll finish here.
And the second thing is the player himself wants to stay.
Yeah.
And now Hansi Flick is even giving him even more opportunities than last season. So
Basically. So I think we'll target Germany and France, because Chelsea has
yeah,
gone for-
Chelsea had a good opportunity in Xavi Simons. What happened?
Yeah, I mean, he's even playing well for Spurs. They lost.
He's
today.
playing really well.
Is it productive? Is it
Well,
productive?
he hasn't given them the numbers,
Yeah.
but
They are
he's playing
losing.
really well.
So, I don't-
He says they are
I thought-
losing. Anyway, let's move on.
The Chelsea fans will be aware that we've gone in for a new sporting director from Liverpool, Dave Fallows. If you remember Firmino, Mane, Van Dijk, Alisson, he did that businesses for them. So that guy coming in, rest assured, we are going to get a defender and get a number 10, maybe probably in January or in the summer. So that's good news for Chelsea fans. So if they are not aware, that's a very positive advice for them.
Right. Ange Postecoglou was sacked. Sicho, this was meant to happen right from day one, but never this early. Not after 9 games.
Well, yeah, look, and I have no sympathy for Nottingham Forest because of Marinakis, their owner. Because the team that Nuno Espirito Santo also built, and credit to Marinakis for the team he built for Nuno Espirito Santos, it was very much tailored to a specific style of play. So when you look at his fullbacks, or when you look at his defense, Murillo, Milankovic, these are centre backs who don't like to be high up the pitch in an ultra attacking team. So they are comfortable when they sit in deep, and then their players go on and catch the teams on the break. All of a sudden, Edu comes in and they're like, the style of play that Espirito Santo is playing is not attractive football. They want to be more attractive. They want to be more expansive, blah, 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 blah. And so relationship goes south. And then they bring in Ange, who in their mind played that attractive football for Spurs. But here he comes in and they brought him Omari Hutchinson, if you remember him from Ipswich last season. And then James McAtee from Man City. 2 very attacking players. But Ange Postecoglou comes in and realizes that the centre backs he has are not Romero and Van der Ven, who have got incredible pace about them. These are centre backs who cannot run, so he cannot play them as high as possible. His team cannot be ultra attacking, and he's struggling because the players that he's got are not necessarily players. The foundation of how Ange wants to play is his backline. If his players, the players are not fast at the back, he can't excel at it, and all of a sudden he struggled to deal with it. Results were not coming up. But I like one thing about Marinakis. He made a mistake, in my opinion, by sacking Nuno Espirito Santo. He made a mistake by bringing in Ange Postecoglou, but he didn't let that mistake linger on. He's taking responsibility and he's tried to correct it by sacking Ange, because he sees that Ange cannot work with this group of players who, in my opinion, are good enough to finish high up the table in the top 10.
I agree. My only gripe with that is, it was a mistake, because we all know that the systems are completely opposite.
Yeah.
You built a squad for one man who plays one style of football, and then you bring another, and his successor is someone who plays a completely different brand of football.
Yeah.
And so it was never going to work. But how about backing him? Is there a way you could have backed him? 9 games. I mean, bro, 9 games.
How do you want to back him?
Because I feel once there is a club statement that says that this man is going to do what he's supposed to do and will continue going for, I mean, it's almost like what Abramovich will sometimes do for the Chelsea coaches until it becomes really grave, or what Jim Ratcliffe has recently done for Amorim, saying that he's going to be there for the next 2 years, and suddenly 2 games, 2 wins on a bounce. I'm not saying that Ange would have been a Nuno, but Nuno had a few transfer windows under his belt. You don't bring someone after a transfer window has ended and expect him to be able to use a squad that was built for another coach. And especially in modern football and how things go, philosophies definitely play a big part. And you cannot embed a philosophy in 3 or 4 or 5 games. It takes a
Theory,
while. We've
theory.
seen with Amorim, it's taking 1 year.
Ange was never going to be able to embed the philosophy because they are playing in Europe. He's training with the boys. Every 3 days they've got a game. He's never got a full week to train with the boys.
Very true.
Now the risk here
Amorim
is
had the same thing, but he still
Yes,
led them
yes,
to the Europa League final.
yes. The risk, however, is that this
Yeah.
Nottingham Forest team, with the way they are playing, they could very
Yeah.
much have been in the relegation conversation. And Maranello doesn't want to risk it. He doesn't want to risk
Right.
it. He spent enough money to think that they can retain an European place and even go
Right.
on and do well in Europe. From the way they were going, it didn't look like they were going to be able to do it. And so, I get it. It's ruthless. You can give a coach a chance. But when the signs are clear, like Amorim's signs are clear, that he might not necessarily be the one to get Man United there. Maybe you still have to cut your losses and accept that you've made a mistake and let the manager go. So I don't blame Maranello for making the bold call.
And for me, the profile they are targeting in the market, the coaching market, makes me scared. Sean Dyche will come in and do 2 months good, rest of the months bad. So for me, it's a bad deal for me if you go for Sean Dyche. The profiles.
Well, there's also been mention of Roberto Mancini,
And
Roberto,
I'm
who
coming
I
to
think
him
will be.
when he comes in, there'll be a rift between him and the owner because he's a winner. He doesn't want nonsense. Equally, they'll definitely have an issue. They'll fight. So I have one name that I was thinking about, and I look at the profiles they have, and this coach is underrated when it comes to even his defensive abilities, what he can do with an average defense. Edin Terzic, the man that took Dortmund to the UCL final.
Right.
I feel like if they bring him on board, he's at home. We're trying to get the right job. If they bring him on board, he'll bring balance to this team. Under no pressure, give him some months, and he'll do good. He'll stay in the league, try and do well in Europe. He'll fire in Europe than the EPL and can do magic for them. But that going for Sondheim is a wrong move. Does he have a European experience? No, I think he has a good.
He has a Premier League experience,
No, I'm talking about
but he's not. But his profile is not.
Experience.
It's not a Forest
I meant
profile
European
currently.
experience, like
Anyway.
the Conference League or the Europa. I don't think he has that experience. For Edin, when he comes in, he can help them back.
So to run through the games that he managed, he lost against Arsenal, lost against Swansea in the League Cup, drew against Burnley, drew against Real Betis. He lost against Sunderland, lost against Midtjylland, lost against Newcastle, and lost against Chelsea. About 3 of those games were always going to be difficult, but every other game there was winnable.
Yep.
And that is where he lost his job. He lost his job before the Chelsea game, to be honest with you. It was just a mere formality and how things were supposed to go over there. But another big game that happened over the weekend that I wanted to touch on is not in the English Premier League. It was actually, but before we do that, actually, I think it'll be sacrilege if we don't talk about Erling Haaland and the hot streak he's on. The guy is scoring for fun. The only game he has not scored in is a game he hasn't played in so far, and that was the Norway game. The Norway game that he decided to miss out on and get a rest before the Premier League resumed.
Yeah.
Erling Haaland is a beast, and he might be shattering records. He's already breaking his own records this season, and he might be shattering season records come the close of season.
And I feel like the way he's playing, I'm scared for Man City because the teams in Spain might come calling. And when they come calling, this guy want to move because
I don't think he's going to move.
You feel like? I
don't feel like. I believe he's not going to move. I know he's not going to
You
move.
never trust a footballer,
Come
Come again?
Do you know when he will
When?
move?
When?
The day Pep Guardiola says, "I'm done here at City."
And that's coming next year.
There are so many players who are going to be thinking twice.
Jerry, that's coming next year.
But do you guys do you know why I feel Haaland is still not going to move even if Pep goes? So where do you go? Now hear me out.
Okay.
Real Madrid have Mbappe.
Yeah.
Okay.
His favorite position is center forward, not the wings. And so there's no way they will buy Haaland, especially for the fee he will come with. There's no way he fits into the Barcelona system.
That's
out of the conversation.
To some extent.
But in any case, Barcelona would not have the money to buy Haaland.
That's why
that's the second point with Barcelona.
They can.
The only 2 teams that he can join for me, realistically, is PSG and Bayern Munich.
Okay.
Bayern Munich have Harry Kane.
Aging Harry Kane.
But he is still firing better than all the younger strikers in the world.
True.
He's firing than all of them. PSG is another project that he could join, and Haaland, well, it depends on how PSG goes, but I don't see him in the French League 1 because he's a very ambitious guy. He wants to win the Ballon d'Or. He wants to win big things. It is not going to be the French League 1. It depends on the transition that Man City put in place after Pep Guardiola. And they will convince him that these are big heads, these are smart people that are leading Man City Football Club and would know how to bring in good successes. And there's going to be a good transition. It's not possible that when a manager leaves, that every player wants to leave. We've seen a lot of managers leave clubs they've been hugely successful at for long periods, and the players have stayed. It goes beyond Pep Guardiola. I understand, but you see, there's a reason why Pep Linders was brought in to assess Pep Guardiola now, because Man City needs to evolve beyond Pep Guardiola. And as a club, they have accepted that Pep Guardiola is going to leave at a point. The 2-year contract he signed, to me, is going to be a transitional period where they phase his football out of the club and understand that whoever comes in will not be able to sustain his style of football. And that means that keeping the players that they are signing and keeping their star players. It's also almost impossible to see another club that pays Erling Haaland more than £400,000 a week.
No, but yeah, no.
Bayern Munich are not going to pay that. PSG will be the only club to pay that.
For a club like Real Madrid, when they are signing players, they don't care where the player will play. And I'll give you an example.
Exactly.
When they were signing Beckham, they didn't have a use for him.
But that's a different.
No, it's the same. It's the same philosophy. Florentino Perez.
No, I think it's a different era. You know what I'm saying? It's a different era because right.
When they were signing Jude Bellingham, they didn't have any position for Jude Bellingham. When they were signing Mbappe, they didn't have use for Mbappe because when Mbappe was coming, Mbappe had said that he doesn't want to play as a centre forward. He wants to play off the left, and it's one of the frictions he had with Luis Enrique. He told him specifically that he didn't want to go down the middle. Vinicius Jr. was their best player. He was playing on the left, yet they signed Mbappe.
Right.
So when Real Madrid see a superstar and they're going to sign a superstar, they don't care. They really don't care where you play. It is up to the manager to decide. They brought in Endrick. They knew Endrick. They paid over 45 million for Endrick. They brought him in. Yeah. They don't care. Come and prove your worth. They are signing players. When Madrid went to buy a player like Tchouaméni and Camavinga, when they brought them in, Casemiro and Modric and Co were still there. Camavinga, but come and prove yourself. That is Real Madrid.
Right.
For FC Barcelona, they are a tricky team. As soon as the new Spotify stadium goes up, Barca are going to be raking in. And look, if Barca wants to buy Erling Haaland because Lewandowski is aging, Barca will find the money. Forget all the Yawa La Liga I've been talking about. Have you seen Barca sign a top quality player in La Liga after they don't register the player before? They will do all the skirmishes, the player will play. They will say whatever they want to say, the player will still play. Bayern Munich, Harry Kane is aging. The next 2 seasons, Harry Kane himself wants to come back to England. He could be very much available to go to.
And do you see Haaland go back to the Bundesliga?
Yeah, why not? I think having played in Germany, he knows how huge Bayern is. And that is why every player who has played for Dortmund, they've got a lure of Bayern because you just know how big a club Bayern is when you've played in Germany before. Like, none of us can even describe it. You need to be there to feel it. And when they speak to all of those players, they'll tell you the same thing. Look, I played Dortmund, it was great, but the pool of Bayern is something else I can't resist. So I think he himself knows the lure of Bayern and what it could be. So look, I won't put it past the 2 teams in Spain and then the Giants Bayern Munich that they can lure Erling Haaland. But again, it's Man City. The Sheikhs, they have a way of holding on to their players. They don't sell if they don't want to. So I'm not going to say straight away he's going. But I think at some point, when he's conquered and done everything with City and feels like I'm done here, he will be the one to decide when his next challenge would be. And I don't think he will always be at Man City.
All right. So also in Germany, Bayern Munich beat Dortmund by 2-1. The Klassiker, that is the name of this particular derby between two of the biggest clubs in German football. And, Dortmund huffed and puffed, but, Harry Kane and Vincent Kompany sealing the win for Bayern Munich and maintaining their status quo as the best club in Germany. Any surprises there?
For me, Jackson started this game, and he didn't score, but I think they are making good use of his pressing abilities, and it makes them reverse Harry Kane back to like a number 10 for now because they are missing Musiala. I think the coach wants it to work for now. Jackson has a 9, Kane has a 10. And Kane has a 10 is always finds himself in the box, and you bring Kimmich as around there.
Yesterday, he was at times even playing as a number 8.
It's crazy. He's
Yeah.
evolving his game, and he began doing that with Mourinho at Spurs, dropping him to become a number 10. He started that at Spurs, so the guy has matured his game, and I like that about him. He's taking that English technique out of him and learning from the Germans. Very good on the ball. He's a good passer of the ball. I think we don't talk about it that much. Harry Kane is a very good passer of the ball. If you don't pay attention to it, you won't talk about it. So him playing as number 10 for me is nice. I mean, he's linking up with Diaz and Ulysses. So I think they are playing well. And he has found the rhythm and the first 11 to play. That is why I want to see them do well in Champions League. Even if they don't win it, he makes the semi-final. I was okay, now company, you are getting there as a coach. You are pushing these boys who they have as an average players in the to the max, and you are trying to get something out of them. So I'm targeting UCL semis for them as a good season, because obviously they'll win the Bundesliga and probably win the Pokal this season too. So for me, Jackson is playing as number 9. If he starts scoring, that's when they'll buy you. If you don't score, they won't buy you. They didn't buy you to only come and press. So he has to start scoring, because Harry Kane is not selfish. He will score, but he also feed you. So for me, he should start doing well in that number 9 position.
Sicho, Barcelona beat Girona by 2-1, and it was a very late goal by Araujo that sealed the 3 points for them. Atletico Madrid also winning by 1-0 over there. A summary of the La Liga for you.
Yeah, Barcelona's game was tough. They didn't play well at all. They looked like after Pedri's goal, which was brilliant by the way, carried the ball into the box and reversed the ball into the bottom corner. No chance for the goalkeeper. Barca took their foot off the pedal. They didn't look convincing from that point. And again, the same problems we're speaking about came to the fore. The ball in behind that high line. And we spoke about the high line. You always need a leader, somebody to be able to organize it. And when the ball go over the top, you also need the pace and a goalkeeper who's a sweeper. Szczesny is a good goalkeeper, but he's not the best sweeper, so he doesn't close up the space in behind enough. And the backline as well are not coordinated enough. Also, Barca's front line and midfield are not pressing with the same aggression that you need to press with if if you're going to keep the line high. So we saw Girona getting in behind them a couple of times. They didn't make the most of it. But in the end, it was Ronaldo Araujo, who has had a very difficult start to the season, popping up with the box and then finishing off that chance in a way that a striker would be proud of. Also for Atletico Madrid, it was an important victory for them, because I think this season at times it's been unfair to them. They've played well in a couple of games, but they've not really had the results to go with the performances. But yesterday, or if like over the weekend, they made the most of the opportunity they got and scored that one goal. Maybe this victory pushes their confidence a bit higher. They brought in a couple of players that needs to still settle into the team, and I think gradually some of them are settling in, and maybe they could be the third force that we always seen them to be in La Liga.
All right. What about the UEFA Champions League? Because coming in the next couple of days, Barcelona play against Olympiacos. There's PSG going away to Bayer Leverkusen. Arsenal will be at home to Atletico Madrid. There is Newcastle against Benfica. There is Inter Milan against Real Union San Luis. There is Manchester City against Villarreal. What about Chelsea against Ajax? Liverpool travel to Eintracht Frankfurt. That's a difficult one. Monaco against Spurs. Real Madrid against Juventus is a big one. There's Sporting Lisbon against Marseille as well. So, and PSG, like I said, will play against Bayer Leverkusen. So these are some of the top ones that you should keep an eye on. Bayern Munich play against Club Brugge. I wanted us to preview these games, but we've spent about 50 minutes already on this. So let's go straight to the game or the quiz for the episode. Guys, are you ready?
Yeah.
Let's shoot.
Hey. All right. So let me first of all lock in this particular player, and I hope that you get him quick and smart. So today, to make it fast, it's going to be the zigzag, right? I'll mention the clubs he played for, and you tell me who this player is. He started his football in Spartak Tambov, and then moved from there to CSKA Moscow, and then he signed for Chelsea, and then from there, Ange Postecoglou, and then Dynamo Moscow. Sorry?
William, sorry.
Not William. And then Zenit St. Petersburg before playing for Khimki.
Zerkov.
Yuri Zerkov is correct. Yuri Zerkov is correct.
Typical Chelsea
So
fan.
I don't
Typical
win.
Chelsea fan.
Typical Chelsea fan indeed. All right, let's move on straight to the next person. And I'm pretty sure you guys will get this one very, very fast. He started his football in Crystal Palace, and then he signed for Manchester United. And then from there, he went.
Zaha.
That is correct.
Zaha. Wilfred Zaha.
How did you know? How did you get this?
It was either Zaha or Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I chose Zaha first. Either Zaha or Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and I chose Zaha first.
know, right?
No, I like that. Let's see if you guys will get this one. Let me lock the player in and let's go. This guy started his career at Metz, and then he signed for Newcastle United, and then to Fulham, and then to Manchester United, and then to Everton, and then to Spurs, then Sunderland, and then Lazio. Who is he?
Lazio. Wow.
That's where he ended his career. He plays his game
United,
there.
right?
Sorry?
United is part.
Yeah.
Everton.
Mets, Newcastle, Fulham, Manchester United.
Sir, Louis Saha
is correct.
Yeah,
Louis Saha is correct. So Ajol wins this one. And Sicho burying his head in his hands if you were listening to us on any of the Audible feeds. But yeah, this has been the quick quiz edition. Sicho, I can see the disappointment on your face, man, because that is a Man United legend. That is a Man United legend.
He's not a legend.
Oh,
he's not a legend.
Anyway, but that'll be all for FC Pitchside Podcast. Thank you very much, guys, for making this possible, and of course for you watching us on YouTube or listening to us on Apple Podcast and Spotify as well. So we'll see you, or you hear from us same time next week. Bye for now.
Welcome to Footy Center Podcast Series. Welcome to Footy Center Podcast Series.